Okay, dear students, now we are here with our new session, geography. Last sessions we were discussing rotation and revolution. In that rotation and revolution, we have discussed about the rotation of the earth, characteristics of rotation, effects of rotation, then inclination of earth axis and its significance, then effect of inclined axis on the duration of day and night, then revolution of the earth. Your last session we were discussing of revolution of earth. What in that topic, effects of revolution, perihelion and aphelion position, that is what today we are going to discuss. So dear students, take page number 27. This is what we are going to discuss today, perihelion and aphelion positions. Okay. The earth orbit is the path along which the earth travels around the sun. Okay, earth orbit, that we know, that is not equal. Something last sessions we said, some side this is near and this side is far away, so it is not so equal. So perihelion means what is it? This path is elliptical in shape. So I have showed you, this is something like a elliptical in a shape. Distance between the earth and the sun varies. When earth reaches here, what will happen? It is near to the sun. When earth reaches here, what will it is away from the sun. When the earth is closest to the sun's position is called a perihelion. So like this, closest position is known as a perihelion, and automatically the farthest position. That closest means what is it? It is 147.3 million kilometers away from the sun. That is what the closest perihelion. Then aphelion. Aphelion means what is it? Away from the farthest the position is called. So aphelion is the distance of the sun is 1152 million kilometer. This is 147.3 million. This 152 million. Okay, 152 and 147.3 million. And owing the elliptical orbit, the minimum distance of the earth from the sun is reached on about January 3rd every year. So this position, I mean perihelion position, perihelion position it take when January 23rd, January 3rd. In winter, in the northern hemisphere, when the axis is tilted away from the sun, when the tilt makes the northern hemisphere cool in winter, it is comparatively, what is it? Nearness to the sun helps to make the southern hemisphere warm in summer. This time, when tilting time, or this side, I mean northern side is away from the sun, that time what will happen? This side will experience summer. When it is near, so what will happen? This side will experience this is, let me show again. So when northern hemisphere tilted near to the sun, what will happen? The summer. When it is that time, what will be? Southern hemisphere will be away from the sun, so that side will experience a winter. When northern hemisphere is away from the sun, then what? That northern hemisphere will experience summer, and southern hemisphere that time will be near to the sun. That side will experience summer. Okay. So, in January 3rd, the Earth, yeah, in its orbit is closest to the Sun. This time of the Earth said to be perihelion. January 3rd, we can say so, that is a perihelion. And next day, July 4th, the Earth is farthest from the Sun. That is known as aphelion. Both movement, one is a perihelion and the another one is a aphelion. So, next topic, the creation of heat zones. The creation of heat zones. So, this diagram, I mean, this is a perihelion and aphelion. This is what for away from the sun. This side is the closest. Creation of heat zones. From smaller time onwards, we are learning of a creation of heat zones. There are different zones are there according to climatic change or according to the movement of the sun. The spherical shape of Earth, along with its movement around the sun, causes the difference in the angle at which the sun's rays fall in Earth's surface. We know Earth is what shape? Spherical in shape. And not only that, it moves. While the moving, what happen? Sun also get, sometimes it is away and sometimes it is near. That also we search. Then the sun's rays fall the angle at which Earth's surface. This is called the difference of distribution of heat. Sometimes let us see, this is what Earth and sun. What happen here? Direct rays. So this side near equator, it may get what it is, vertical rays. So this side is known as a heat zones. Then medium, these little slanting rays. So this area they are getting little less heat. Then again slanting. So this area they are getting very less. So this is a frigid zones. Okay. So that is what a difference. So the torrid zone. Which one is torrid zone? Between the earth, like just now I have showed you like this equator, then 23 and a half, 23 and a half. This area is known as a torrid zone. This zone stretches between 23 and a half degree north as well as 23 and a half degree north. This is a 23 and a half degree south. Okay, this 23 and a half degree north. So between these we can say so torrid zone, direct rays fall. So heat zones we can say so. And next the temperate zone, that medium zones, there sun rays falls vertically. In between the torrid and frigid zones, between 23 and a half north and south, 66 and a half north and south lies the temperature of zones. In this zone, what will happen? The sun's rays fall obliquely, and hence the region experience a moderate climate. And last, frigid zone. This zone expands from 66 and a half degree north to 90 degree north. And since the sun's rays fall extremely obliquely, and this region, the region experience extremely cold regions. So dear ones, this is what different types of heat zones. So take care. We will meet in next session. Have a nice day. Thank you.